an answer. Okay. So going to the last paper, 2022, starting with 2022 questions are doing it. Right. Which of the following would reduce economic growth? Reduce economic. Now, all of the years they ask which of the following will increase economic growth. No, reduce. Decline in investment, increase in my number of immigrant workers from abroad, technological advancement, increase in labor force, increasing savings. Just think as which one of this is bad. Use for the common sense. Which one is the bad one? All of this looks like good ones. One is bad. That is the one that will decline economic growth. Which one? Answer number one. Decline in investment. No investment means this thing. Now that's what happened, guys, in 2022. Right? Interest rates were high. Investments fell down. So firms are not investing. They are not borrowing and investing. Like negative economic growth. 46. Huh. Give me an answer. Repeated again. Economic development is what? Economic development is, what is the most correct answer? Economic development is, along with economic growth, there has to be what? There has to be structural changes. Guys, remember? Now, number 5 is okay, but the most correct answer is not that. Most correct answer is, along with economic growth, there has to be a change in the economic. That is what development is. If number 3 is not there, 5 is correct. Where the average standard of living, quality of life goes up, that's correct. But remember, economic development is beyond economic growth. That is, along with economic growth, you should have the quality of life should improve. There should be structural changes, service sector should get dominant, people's income should increase, right? Poverty should reduce, right? So many changes should happen along with economic growth. Then only you call it economic development. Okay, right. 47 balan. Which of the following policies is likely to make a country's income distribution equitable? Think, guys, that will reduce the gap between the rich and the poor. Establish a sales tax for food and clothes. Establish a progressive income tax. Remember last time I told you they had regressive income tax. I said regressive, never you have to do progressive. So if we can have a progressive income tax, right? If we can charge a higher amount of tax from the rich people, then you can make it more equitable, no? So can be your answer. Eliminating excise tax, no. Proportionate decrease in tax for all income, no. Reducing the subsidy on education, no. Maybe increasing the subsidy. Okay, so 47, answer 2. 48 balam. Again, poverty. So they're asking poverty headcount index in 2019 and the district with the highest. District with the highest we learned. District with the highest is Mulati, right? How much they had? 44.5% in poverty. Headcount index here. Go to the district. Balan in your this thing, poverty headcount index. Here, poverty headcount index, updated poverty line here. The whole for whole of Sri Lanka, 14.3%. No, maybe 14.3. Right? It's 14.3. Okay. So go there, 14.3. Okay. Done. 49. Which of the following is the correct labor force participation rate of a country? How do you calculate, guys? Come on, easy one. Labor force participation rate. If you can't give me the equation, now we think disappoint. Which one is the equation? Labor force over the working age population. If they don't have labor force, how do you get labor force? Employed plus the unemployed. Answer number 2. Employed plus unemployed over the working age. That's it. National headcount index is 14.3. Okay. That means if you take Sri Lanka as a whole, 14.3 people are in power, 14.3%. 49 done. 50. Despite the fact that Sri Lanka had engaged in 16 programs with the IMF. See again, current context right now. See, now this is what I want you all to think, guys. Have we got the IMF money in 2022? No. When did we get the IMF money? This year. But they asked about the IMF last year. So this is why knowing what is happening in the country is important. Where are we headed? What will happen? See, now so far we have not, 2022 we have not gone to the IMF yet. Okay, so we have not, in the sense we have not got the money yet from them. See, now that's one of example, like I told the BRICS story. So some countries are going to join BRICS. So still has not happened, but can be tested. Don't think make and they won't test. No, right? They can test. Okay. So despite the fact that Sri Lanka has engaged in 16 programs with the IMF, respective governments had failed to implement most of them. Remember, guys, we have now, this is the 17th time that we are going to the IMF. Before this, we have gone 16 times. From these 16 times, we were able to complete the program only around half the time. So around, I can't remember, around 7 or 8 times, the program failed. That means halfway down the line, we did not complete the program. IMF left and went. They said, Ane Pandita, you can't work with you. I am going. So they are asking you, what is the main reason for that? Why did most of our IMF programs before fail? Why, guys? The lack of commitment in meeting agreed reforms, availability of adequate funds from the international capital markets, heavy reliance on currency swaps, smooth inflow of foreign direct investments, making IMF unnecessary, adaptation of flexible exchange rate policy. What was the reason, guys? Remember, I told this so many times in the class also, is the lack of commitment. Remember, IMF doesn't give the money at once, no. It comes in tranches. Every 6 months, there is a review. Review pass next set of money will come. Now, next review is coming in September 2023, right? That is next month. So if we have passed the conditions, they have, right, reserves, you have to have this much, you should have reduced the inflation to this much, right? If you have done those only, next set of money will come. So what happens is usually start again we do. After 2-3 years, we realize now IMF on we don't do that. And with elections and all coming, we reduce taxes, increase government spending, fiscal budget deficit goes to a crazy thing. We don't meet the IMF targets and the reforms. IMF says, right, you're Pandita, you're not listening to me, right? You do whatever you want, I am going. Program is stopped halfway. That's what happens most of the time. This time we'll see what will happen, we don't know. So the lack of commitment to meeting the agreed reform. They have a lot of conditions, guys. You go and see the IMF report, there's 100 of conditions. Different things. Fiscal targets are there, so many things. Not all the 16 didn't fail, guys. Only around half of it failed. They are not saying all failed, right? They say has failed to implement most of them. Is because of this reason, guys, because we don't meet those targets. Now, IMF reforms, guys, is to have, let's say, things like, but now, for example, to pass a new central bank act, we discussed that, right? To increase these policy rates, to increase taxes. Those were all IMF things that they told us to do, to allow the exchange rate to float. Okay, so those are things. How much was success? I can't remember the exact number, guys. It's around half, right? So around, I think 9 of these were successful, around 7 of it failed from the past 60. It's around there. Okay, 9 and 7. If I'm not mistaken, that's enough. Yes, IMF will always come to help. So what to do? That is their objective. But just because you asked today, it won't come. Remember, we discussed in the past paper class, we approached the IMF last year in March. Then staff level agreement came in September. And then money came in this year in March. So 1 year went for the money to come. So they won't, just because you call them, they won't come tomorrow and give the money. So much of things have to be discussed, and then it will take time. Okay, right. That's about the IMF thing, and that's this. I think we did a whole discussion on the IMF program last week. Okay. In the fast track, people who missed, go and watch the recording. There will be questions in the mock exam series also. Don't worry. All these current issues and everything I have included in the mock exam series, where it will be covered with answers, questions, you all will learn all of that. Right. So with that, the 2022 paper is done. Even after the breach, we have settled the loan, yes. For the amount of money they have given us, we have to give. They wouldn't have given us the entire thing, no. For the amount they have given, we have to settle. Okay, right. So with that, we can wrap it up. I think it took 4.5 hours to finish, but at least we finished it. No? So 11 and 12 is done. We have the unit 6 essay questions, 7, 8, 9, and 10. 9 and 10 most likely are small, right? We can quickly do it. 7 and 8, we'll try to have a few extra sessions. I'm guessing none of you all go to school now, right? Yes, on weekday mornings, we'll try and get that done as soon as possible. we'll try to finish. Most of y'all are done with school now, right? Even and I saw y'all posting last day pictures and all on WhatsApp. I don't check much of stories, but because I have so much of numbers to check, right? So I'm guessing school is done. So I'll have a few extra sessions. I'll let you all know when. We'll somehow finish it within probably at least by the end of next month. We'll finish all the past papers, and when I find some time, I'll upload these also onto YouTube. So for now, this is the latest paper we have, and we are done. And essay questions I'm not discussing because it's not relevant yet. Most of y'all don't do it also. Most of it gets outdated and all of it. Okay, so see you. Have a nice day. Sorry for ruining your poor holiday. You can go and sleep now. It's a nice rainy weather. You can go and see you and have a nice day. See you. Bye bye.